Hello and welcome, Gamer Hellions, to Hell's Game Room. I'm Apocalypse and I'm here on a mission to find games worthy of my collection. And today, we're gonna go to the old school. We're gonna go back and play a game that has gotten a lot of flack over the years and has gotten beat down and bashed all over the place. And it's a game that I actually like quite a bit. Give me 1 second.
What could possibly go wrong?
Bubsy, Claude Encounters of the Third Kind is a notoriously hated platformer developed by Accolade in 1993. In the game, you play as a bobcat with attitude named Bubsy. Bubsy is a collector just like you or me, but he collects yarn balls. In fact, he has the largest collection of yarn balls in the world. But one day, an alien race known as the Woolies came down and took all the world's yarn balls. So Bubsy decides to take it upon himself to fight off the Woolies and get his yarn balls back. So over the years, this game has gotten quite a bit of a bashing from YouTubers all over the place. This game has been talked down to, it's been beaten, battered, tossed to the side. People have called this game the worst game ever made. And that's ridiculous. I mean, there are so many games out there, and to just go out and say that this game is the worst is beyond just stupid. And, I mean, it's going to be hard to do this review, to be honest, because I grew up playing this game. It was one of the only games I owned when I had a Super Nintendo when I was little, and, and to this day, I still play this game whenever I get the chance. I love playing it for the review, and I've played it before I even tried to do a review for it. So, it's going to be tough. But I'm not blind to the fact that this isn't the best game ever. I know that this game has quite a few problems, and some of them are unavoidable. Just flat out, they're blatant, bad problems that could have been fixed very easily. But, I'm here to do a review, so let's watch some gameplay. So as we start, I feel the need to explain myself a bit. I am in fact a fan of the Bubsy franchise. Yes, I am one of the lonely few. But I understand that there are some bad things with the games, and I understand that the third one was a travesty, and it was an insult to gaming. That I know, but that's not the one we're talking about today. Today we're going to be talking about the first game. This game was my childhood. I mean, seriously, I woke up almost every morning just to play this game. And I played this game for hours with my mom, so you would understand why I would get a little disturbed when people would just dismiss it and call it crap. And the worst part about it is the arguments that people think of when they want to talk crap about this game. They're just fucking ridiculous. I've heard people say that the enemies aren't clearly shown, but I mean, how hard is it really to avoid things? I'm serious. Just because you can run like the Roadrunner doesn't mean that you have to run forward thinking that nothing could possibly go wrong. And the fact that people blame the camera for not being able to run is just thoughtless. I mean, if you just take a second and realize that you can just hold the right or left bumper, which is something that you can do in a lot of different games, this is not unique to this game at all. It'll actually move the camera over and you can see perfectly fine, which gives you plenty of room to jump or to do anything. And there's absolutely no need to frickin' take the Sonic approach anyways. Just because the game feels like Sonic, it doesn't mean that you're supposed to just run at it. You can do that, I played the game that way, but there are multiple ways to go through this game. I hear that the levels can be confusing and that they're built all wrong, but who says that a platformer needs to be made in one way to get to the end? The way I see it, the level design in this game is what gives it the awesome amount of replayability that it has. You can play multiple different times and each time take a different route, whether it be on the ground running fast like Sonic, or you could just jump into the air and then float over everybody and avoid just about everything in a lot of the levels. Or you can jump on a waterfall and just ride all the way to the end listening to some really awesome music. Yeah. You have people who argue that it's just a Sonic clone and doesn't deserve any love. And this is something I can see. It is most definitely very much like Sonic. In fact, the game was inspired after a 14-hour Sonic gaming session by the creator of Bubsy, Michael Berlin. So it's no wonder that the game feels so much like Sonic, and in a lot of ways. From the momentum that you get when you're running around to the ending of each of the levels. Except that the ending of the levels in Bubsy are way better, since he gets to do a little jig, and I can't tell you the kind of warm, fuzzy feelings this gives me. But at the end of the day, can you really look at me and tell me that there isn't a game nowadays that isn't just some kind of clone of another game? It isn't a valid point to argue that a game's bad because it imitates another game. It doesn't make any sense. Lots of games imitate other games, and plenty of them are good. You know, one of the most annoying things I've ever heard as a reason for why this game sucks is this. But Lex, Bubsy's a bobcat. Bobcats don't float. Okay, I'm well aware that freaking bobcats don't fly through the air like wild butterfree. But let me let you in on a little secret. It's a fucking game. If you're gonna argue the legitimacy of a flying bobcat in a game, then you're gonna have to take a good look at video games as a whole. You will need to pick apart an array of fire-tossing plumbers, coked-up hedgehogs, and bandicoots wearing pants. So fuck off with that shit. And now that I'm done venting away all of the big arguments in this game, let's talk about the actual gameplay, shall we? So of course, in the game you must make it to the end of each level. And on the way you must collect every cat's favorite thing, yarn balls. And even though these seem kinda random, they actually aren't. There are 4 different colors. You got green, which are worth 10 points, we got purple that are worth 20 points, yellow that are worth 30, and red that are worth 40. But you can also catch these yarn balls that will change colors, and each one of those are worth whatever color you happen to catch them at. There are tons of other collectibles in the game as well. You have shirts, which can do quite a few things. You have shirts with numbers on them that will indicate how many lives you'll get if you catch them. You'll get shirts that have a blinking strobe light on them, which will basically give you star power. And then there are the black shirts, which will turn you into a shadow and let you run right past enemies while you're listening to some smooth tunes. A lot of the levels have these nifty little portals that can send you clear across the level, or sometimes even just send you back. And every once in a while you will get into one of these super fun bonus levels. These bonus levels are a real treat, and they have one of the best theme songs ever. And speaking of good songs, this game is completely filled with awesome music. Some of the catchiest songs I've ever heard in 16 bits. From the first level song, to the train levels. The levels are set up in 3 sections, with a boss fight at the end of the 3rd section. Yes, just like Sonic. And the areas can actually vary quite a bit, from a valley and an amusement park to even the Old West, each with their own very quirky, very nice theme song. There's something to be said about the humor in this game. It conveys quite a bit of cartoonish comedy even though there's no story sequences whatsoever. There's a taste of it in just about everything. Like the movie quotes and the level intros that everybody seems to find really annoying, but I personally think that they're ridiculously charming. Or the enemies that can be anything from gumball machines to living cars and trains. And where it sticks out the most is in the death sequences. And yes, you will see these quite a bit. as the game can be really tough and can catch you off guard. Bubsy can be knocked out, popped like a balloon, and trapped in cars, even land flat on the ground and accordion walk away. But this isn't really truly a review. This is basically just me getting off my back the things I've wanted to say about this game that everyone else has been really just putting down, when the game does not deserve it. It just really doesn't. The game is plenty decent, and at the end of the day, the game has a lot of endearing qualities. And it's a real shame that it has taken such a bashing over the last few years. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on Bubsy. I mean, it's not that bad of a game at all. I mean, and I know that there's problems with it, and I know people are basically going to look at this video and just be like, oh, you're talking just from nostalgia because you played it when you were a kid, yada yada. But, I mean, I understand that there's problems with this game. I mean, the hit detection can be fucked sometimes. And yes, there could be some character placements that are just wacky. And of course, if this is your first time playing the game, you're going to be like, this game is crap. But there are plenty of other games that have been called either good games or just been completely ignored, and that are much worse than this game. I mean, like, if you've ever actually played the game, you would know that there's an actual, that it can be good at times, and that there's definitely potential there for a good game, and it's not anywhere near the worst game ever. I'm not the only one who thinks this. I actually did my rounds, I talked to retro gamers, all over the place, posted on Facebook, went on YouTube and asked people, and I went to this site and that site, and I went to the stores and to ask people, and it was all it was almost unanimous. Either you get people who were like, this game sucks, which I'm just gonna go ahead and say that those people basically watch a couple YouTube videos and were we're in the mindset of this is the worst game ever because they watch other people say that it's the worst game. And then there's, the other people who played it when they were younger and when it first came out and were like, this game is decent. And if there's anything that this game can be really targeted for, is just for being incredibly average. And with all that in mind, I'm just gonna give this game a 3 out of 5 because that's what it is. It's a extremely average game. It is just very, very average. There's good things, there's bad things, but at the end of the day, you can play through this game, get to the end, and you'll remember some things and you'll hate some other things, and then you'll just move on to the next game. It's very average, even though I still love it, of course. And this is Hell's Game Room. I'm Apocalypse. Peace out. Hello, and thank you, Gamer Hellion, for watching this week's episode. Yes, I understand that this episode is probably really wobbly, really loose, and kind of messy. I know, it makes me sad. I had another review actually set up and almost completely done for you guys, but I had to capture some video for it, and my Xbox is dead. So that didn't work. But that review will be coming in a later time once I get a replacement Xbox for this thing that is now a brick that is going to be, I don't know, holding up a car somewhere or being thrown into a ravine. Either way, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please go ahead and leave me a comment down there. Let me know what you think. Press the like button. Press the subscribe button if you have not already pressed it before, because I will be trying to do these as often as possible. I've been saying Saturdays, but I've been meaning whenever I can. And again, I can't do this without you guys watching. Or I guess I can, and then nobody would be watching. Oh well, I guess I'll be here all the time. So, see you next week, or next time I get onto the interweb and do this again. Again, thank you for watching. Peace out.